The aroma of rendang wafted through Puan Amina's kitchen as her daughter Sarah stirred the pot carefully. At 26, Sarah had mastered her mother's recipe, but this year's Hari Raya preparation felt different. Her thoughts kept drifting to Adam, the kind-hearted doctor she'd met at the hospital where she worked as a nurse. Sarah, jangan melamun. Sarah, don't daydream. Puan Amina's voice snapped her back to reality. The rendang will burn if you're not careful. Maaf, mak. Sarah adjusted the heat, watching the coconut milk reduce to a thick gravy. Her phone buzzed with a message from Adam. Heading to the Pasar malam tonight? Need to buy some Kuih for my parents. Sarah smiled, remembering how they'd first met during the hectic Ramadan night shift. She had been tending to a patient when Adam came to do his rounds. He'd noticed her struggling with some files and offered to help, their hands briefly touching as they gathered the scattered papers. Mak, Sarah turned to her mother. Boleh tak saya pergi pasar malam sekejap? Mom, can I go to the night market for a while? Puan Amina gave her a knowing look. This wouldn't have anything to do with that young doctor you've been talking about, would it? Sarah blushed. Mac, he's just a friend. His parents are visiting from Penang for Raya, and he needs help choosing the right koi. Ah, seeking a girl's advice about koi for his parents? Classic move. Puan Amina chuckled. Go on, but don't be too late. We still have lots to prepare for tomorrow. At the Pasar Malam, the festive atmosphere was in full swing. Colorful Hari Raya decorations hung between stalls, and the scent of grilled satay and various Kuih filled the air. Sarah spotted Adam near the Kuih stall, looking slightly overwhelmed by the variety. Assalamu alaikum, Sarah greeted, approaching him. Walaikum salam. Adam's face lit up. Thank goodness you're here. I don't know my Kuih lapis from my Kuih talam. Sarah laughed, pointing to different treats. These are classics your parents will love. Kuih lapis is always a favorite. As they walked through the market, Adam grew serious. Sarah, there's something I wanted to ask you. Would it be okay if I visited your family during Raya? With my parents? His voice was hesitant, but hopeful. Sarah's heart skipped a beat. In Malaysian culture, such a visit during Hari Raya, especially with parents, carried significant meaning. I'd have to ask my parents first, she said softly, though her smile gave away her feelings. Of course, Adam nodded. I've already talked to mine. They're quite excited to meet the nurse I keep talking about. They stopped at a stall selling Raya decorations, where fairy lights twinkled like stars. You know, Adam continued, when I was doing my residency in KL, I never thought I'd find someone who makes me want to settle down back here in my hometown. But then, you helped me with that patient during Ramadan. Sarah remembered that night clearly, the rushed dinner break they shared, eating dates, and her mother's packed nasi lemak, discussing their hopes and dreams between patient rounds. I still have the extra dates you gave me that night, she admitted. I kept the container in my locker. Adam's eyes sparkled. I knew you were special when you offered to share your mother's sambal with me. No one shares Mac's sambal unless they really care. They both laughed, understanding the weight of such a gesture in Malaysian culture. Later that night, as Sarah helped her mother arrange the Raya cookies, she finally gathered the courage to speak. Mac, Adam asked if he could visit during Raya with his parents. Puan Amina paused her work, a gentle smile crossing her face. Finally, I was wondering when he'd ask. Your Abba and I have seen how your eyes light up whenever you talk about him. Mac. A mother knows these things, Sarah, and any man who asks to visit during Raya with his parents, he's serious about his intentions. Sarah hugged her mother, heart full of joy and nervousness for what Hari Raya would bring. The next morning, as the call to Eid prayer echoed through the air and the first rays of sun painted the sky in gentle colors, Sarah knew this Hari Raya would be the beginning of something beautiful.